What is up, Watch fam, and welcome to Rant&h. I am Christian from Theo and Harris, and before we get into today's watch industry rant, I'll do a quick wristwatch check. So I am wearing a triple calendar signed Winton. I'm a big triple calendar fan, mostly because I like publications as a whole, especially in the vintage market. But chronographs are wonderful, but we really don't find triple calendars just that often at all. By the way, triple calendar, in case you guys don't know, is a day, month, and date. So you don't find them all that often. When you do find them, they typically are very, very, very small, talking like 30 millimeters, and the condition, is vintage. I mean, usually it's not very good. So this example really excites me because its millimeter size is a little bit bigger, around 34 millimeters, and the dial and the hands are all matching and super clean. This is a really beautiful watch, especially the red seconds at the bottom. I love it. Not the red seconds, the red date pointer. Anyway, it'll be available on the shop at theoandharris.com tomorrow, Tuesday, at around 10 or 11 a.m. So be sure to check in at the shop tomorrow. So that's it. Now let's go jump into today's rant. Okay, so for today's rant, I'm going to be talking about why I think that you guys should stop hoping that Breitling stays independent. So let's go into what happened first. Bloomberg announced just the other day that there are big speculation that Breitling is going to be sold. For those who don't know, quick history lesson, Breitling was founded, I think, in 1879 and has been independent since. They were purchased in 1979, I believe, something like that. I think 1979, and have been owned by the same people since. So it was 1879, I think 1979. I could be wrong. Correct the dates if I'm wrong there. But the bottom line is, Breitling is an independent company, meaning they are not owned by LVMH. They are not owned by Swatch. They are not owned by Richemont. So this is a company that is truly, autonomous. There are no, of course, within the company there are people that tell other people they can't do what they want to, but they still have technically the rights to be an independent spirit. It doesn't matter if they eat too much of the pie from a different company. They are their own, and they are not in the interests of anybody else. And that's it. Typically, independent watch companies, have more of a flair. They have more of an independent spirit. They have that kind of spirit that is not sold out, right? They're still doing what they do. They're doing it really well. They're not making a ton of money, typically, because they don't have the marketing and the mass marketing capability. They can't reach as many people as Swatch can. If Swatch picks up a brand, they can, they have a lot of resources to make it a hit, even if there are better watches at better prices on the market. It's just what Swatch can do. It's their capability. But, so I can understand why people would want Breitling to stay independent. It makes sense, right? It should make sense, at least, because if run by a great team of people that truly see the vision and operate like an independent company, it would suck if they sold out. It would suck if they sold out their core fundamental principles for cash and they mass marketed and all that. It would suck if they sold out, right? But hasn't Breitling sold out already? To me, this would not be a matter of selling out. This would be a matter of just changing leadership. That's it. Maybe getting a little bit more financial backing from a larger company, because Swatch is larger than Breitling. So that's it. I just don't think that we can be so upset that Breitling could potentially be sold because we're going to lose the independent spirit of Breitling. Breitling has no independent spirit, at least in my opinion. Look at their productions, and I like Breitling. I like Breitling watches, some at least. I like the Super Ocean. I like some of their chronographs. I like the Navitimer to a degree, but I just did the other day, and put the link below, I gave you guys a recommendation to buy a Sin over a Breitling, and some of you disagreed, but a lot of you agreed. That shouldn't be the fact. That shouldn't be the case. We should all unanimously say, well, the Breitling is the Breitling, and it is better than the Sin for these 10 reasons, but we can't anymore, so it does suck that Breitling has operated in the last, since the 90s, right? I don't know how long, but since Jerry Seinfeld has been a Breitling fan, Breitling has and Jerry Seinfeld's a fan of a lot of watches, but since then Breitling has been kind of a sellout-ish watch. It's a good watch in a lot of ways, and it's serviceable and all that, and a lot of it's well designed and stuff like that. But one of the things I talked about the other day was this idea of totally cashing in on a design like the Navitimer, the most classic Breitling design, and making it a dinner plate, making it a shiny dinner plate and no longer a pilot's watch, making it no longer a tool's watch. So once you've done that, in my opinion, you've already sold out. You've already lost your fundamental, being and soul. To me, being an independent brand, and even at scale, I won't even put it mom and dad Habring too, in a watch, not mom and dad, it's a husband and wife. I won't even do that. Put them in a little watch shop. Even put it at scale. Put it at thousands of employees. Put it at hundreds of thousands of wristwatches produced and sold. Millions. Still, there has to be this core of just passion and commitment to the brand, to the history, to moving forward, and to me, and that has to take precedent over John Travolta and over aviation jets and things like that. To me, it's dishonest. A lot of it's dishonest, and that's the opposite. That's what the conglomerates are supposed to be. The conglomerates are supposed to be dishonest, not the independents. The independents are supposed to be the guys that say, "We're going to do it our way," and everybody else. But Breitling hasn't. Breitling's kind of done it the most typical way anyone could possibly imagine. So stop being so upset that Breitling could be sold. It's a good thing, or at least it could be a good thing. There's an opportunity, because in the hands that it's in right now, I really don't see Breitling getting that much better anytime soon. Once again, I like Breitling. I'm a fan. I would wear a Breitling. I do wear Breitlings on a relatively regular basis. I'm a big fan of the company, but I'm not, I'm not delusional, and I'm not nostalgic about the independent title. I think that if they were sold and they wanted a better management, and they just became a brand and they became a brand that did what we so wish this company would do at the moment, how could we shit on Swatch Group for that? Maybe I'm a little bit optimistic, but who knows? I mean, maybe under Richemont, Breitling becomes the brand that we really, really, really have been waiting for Breitling to become for the last 10 years. So that's it. Those are my thoughts, guys. Thank you so much for watching Rant&h, and check out the watch shop tomorrow on theoandharris.com.